Hello guys, welcome to Deep Codes, and in today's video we will discuss LeetCode question 2642 that says design graph with shortest path calculator. So guys, this question was a part of BiWeekly contest 102 and this was the last question of the contest. So now let's discuss what the question says. So here you are given the directed weighted graph consisting of n nodes numbering from 0 to n minus 1. The edges of the graph are initially represented by the array edges, where edges of y has this vector that contains from node, destination node, n, as well as the cost of that edge. Okay, now you need to implement the graph class. So this graph initializing object, you will get two parameters. One parameter is the number of nodes and another parameter is all the edges along with their cost. You will get this, right? Whenever this graph class is initialized, you will get these two parameters. Further, inside this graph class there is one function named is add edge. So this function will add an edge, this from to an edge cost inside this graph that we already built. So initially we will build the graph, then we can add the edges to the graph by using this function. So we have to also code for this function, and this function we won't return anything. This is a void function, return type void. And there is the third function named shortest path. So this shortest path function will return the int or the shortest path or the minimum cost path from the node 1 to node 2. So here we will pass two parameters, node 1 and node 2, and we have to return the minimum cost of a path from a node 1 to node 2, and if there is no such path, then return -1. So yeah, got this. So the thing here is that while initializing the class graph, we will initialize the complete graph. Then we will add some edges dynamically by calling this function, and we will have also function call for the shortest path from node 1 to node 2, right? Okay, so each time we add one edge, we have to make some calculation because the shortest path might change, right? Initially shortest path might be something else, but after adding the edges with this function, the shortest path will become something else, right? So every time whenever this function calls happen, we have to do some calculation. Okay, now let's take a look at the first example. So here when we are initializing the graph, we have passed this as an input. See, this complete thing is the input, where 4 is the number of nodes numbering from 0 to 3. So total 4 nodes, and these are some edges that are given, right? From 0 to 2, directed 0 to 2 with a cost 5, then 0 to 1 with a cost 2, 1 to 2 with a cost 1, and 3 to 0 with a cost 3. Okay, got this. This is our initial graph. Now after this we have one function called for the shortest path from 3 to 2, node 3 to node 2. So the one path is this from 3 to 0, 0 to 1, and 1 to 2. That cost is 3 plus 2 plus 1, 5. And another path is from 3 to 0 and 0 to 2. So this cost is 5 plus 3, 8. Now what is the minimum cost? This cost 3 plus 2, 5 plus 1, 6. 6 is the minimum cost from starting from 3 to 0, 0 to 1, and 1 to 2. So for this we will return 6. As you can see, 6. Now another is 0 to 3. Is there any path from node 0 to node 3? No. So we return -1. Okay. Now here we are calling this add edge function, where we are adding the edge from node 1 to node 3. See, node 1 to node 3 with a cost of 4. So this edge we have added, and then we are again making a call from node 0 to node 3. Node 0 to node 3. Now initially there was no such node, right? So we return no such path. So we return -1. Now since after adding this edge, there is a path from node 0 to node 3, that is of cost 2 plus 4, 6. So yeah, we return 6 as our answer. So yeah guys, got this, that after adding some of the edges, the shortest path might get changed, else we will come to situation like this where initially there was no path, but after this there is a path between this node 0 and node 3. So yeah, thus this add edge function we have to handle and do some calculation. Okay, so now guys, let me ask you one question here, that what we have to do. We have to find shortest path, right? Think of this like this: shortest path from that is from node 1 to node 2. This thing we have to do. Now just forget it. If you have if you are given a graph and you need to find shortest path, then what you will do? If you are given one simple graph and you need to find shortest path, how you will do? Shortest path between two nodes, how you will do? So there are some algorithm, like one is Dijktra's algorithm. So this Dijkstra's algorithm will help you to find a single source, a shortest path to all the nodes. So Dijkstra's is nothing but single source shortest path algo. So from a single node you can find the shortest path to all other nodes. So let's say for here the single node is n1, so here from that n1 you can find shortest path to n2, n3, n4, n5, n6. So this is what Dijkstra's does. But another algorithm that can solve this type of question, that is a given graph and you need to find shortest path, so that is Floyd warshall algorithm. So in this algorithm, what this algorithm does is it finds shortest path among all pairs of nodes. So it finds the shortest path among all the nodes. So that is like it finds the shortest path between node 1, node 2, node 1, node 3, node 1, node 4, node 1, node 5, then node 2, node 3, node 2, node 4, node 2, node 5, and yeah, so on. So it finds the shortest path among all the pairs of nodes. So these two are very much fundamental algorithm to find the shortest path in a given graph. Okay. So guys, for this question also we will apply both these algorithms. Like we can either use Dijkstra's algorithm or either we can use Floyd warshall algorithm. So there is some differences in the code of both this algorithm, and yeah, we will see to the code. So basically for this question the intuition part is very much simple, that we have to find the shortest path in a given graph, and for that we will identify what all algorithms can do, and yes, that same algorithm we will apply to this question. And if you see the number of calls for array function is 100, and also for the shortest path function is 100. So you keep this in mind. So both are 100. So why I am telling you, we will discuss in further video. So now guys, let me show you the code for Dijkstra's algorithm. So Dijkstra's algorithm will help you to find the shortest path between two nodes, node 1 and node 2. Okay. So for that what I did is I first initialize one vector of a type pair. Why pair? Because I have to store so for all the starting node I have to store the ending node as well as the cost. So there are two integers that I have to store, so I took the pair here. So this is the adjacency list I have made with the help of vector and vector, and this is the add function. The same thing how we are adding edge here, the same we did here. We added the destination edge as well as the cost. Now our main Dijkstra's algorithm logic comes here. Now guys, Dijkstra's algorithm use what? It's used simply but a priority queue or a mean heap, right? It uses mean heap. Why mean heap? Because we will because we need to find minimum cost path. So the topmost element of the mean heap will return the minimum cost. So that's why we use mean heap in the Dijkstra's algorithm. So this is where I initialize the mean heap. Then I push the cost and the node. See, in the mean heap or the priority queue PQ, what I am making? I am making priority queue of cost and the destination node. Why this? This is because that I will apply sorting on the cost. So thus this is why, because sorting must be applied on cost, must be applied on edge cost, then only you will get minimum cost path. So sorting must be applied on the cost. So that's why the first parameter of the priority queue on which the sorting will apply, so that parameter must be the cost. So that's why I kept the cost here. So for so I initialize the priority queue by inserting node 1, because this is the starting node, so I inserted the starting node, and the distance or the cost from starting node to itself is 0, so I inserted 0 here. Clear? Then I initialize this cost vector where I will store all the cost from the node 1, the cost of all the path from node 1 to all the other nodes, right? This will be stored here from node 1 to node 2, node 3, node 4. So this is nothing but a single source shortest path algorithm to all the nodes. So for all the nodes from the node 1, we will store their cost here in this vector, and for the cost of node 1 I initialize to 0, and this is simple Dijkstra's algorithm. This is very much similar to breadth first search approach. So here what we did is we ran a loop until the priority queue is empty. Then we took the first element that is present on the top of the priority queue along with the cost, that is the cost of the topmost element as well as the node of the topmost element, and pop that out, and then we check for neighbors. Now this is where the main logic of Dijkstra's algorithm come. So let's say here there are let me explain you this logic also. Let's say here nodes like this from 1 2 to node 3, and that is this. So guys, now let's assume that the cost of edge from 1 to 2 is 5, 2 to 3 is 4, and 1 to 3 is 10. Also assume that this cost of reach, so this is the source node, node 1, and yeah, and this is, let's say this is the destination. Okay, so this cost is already calculated from node 1 to node 3, that is 10. Now here let's assume that this is the current node, just assume it, this is the current node. So now we are checking the neighbor of the current node, so the neighbor of current node is node 3. Now we will check if cost of neighbor, so cost of node 3 is what? So initially cost of node 3 is 10. So is this cost of node 3, that is 10, is greater than cost of current node? This cost of current node is what? 5. So what is cost? Cost is nothing but a cost from the source node. So for the node 2, what is the cost from source? It is 5 plus neighbor dot second. So now neighbor dot second will contain what? See, this neighbor dot second is nothing but we took from this adjacency list, and this second element here represent the cost. Okay, so this neighbor dot second is what? The cost from the node 2 to node 3. So that is what? 4. Is 10 greater than 5 plus 4? Yeah, this is greater. So that means we have found a better part. So this 5 plus 4 is a better cost, or more optimal cost than this 10. So that's why we will update the cost of this neighboring element. So for this is the current element, then the neighbor element is 3. So for the neighbor element, we will update the cost to 5 plus 4, right? And then we will push this neighboring element to the priority queue. So guys, this is how this Dijkstra's algorithm works with the help of priority queue. Now talking about the time and space complexity. Guys, here the time complexity would be the number of calls for the shortest path, into big O of n square. Not actually it's n squared, it's n log n, because guys, if you see this priority queue will take n log of n time complexity. So that would be the time complexity of Dijkstra's algorithm. But how many number of times? That many number of times by which this shortest path function is called. So number of times or number of calls of the shortest path function into this time complexity. So this is the time complexity, and the space complexity of this approach is big O of n square. You can see this 2D vector that we are taking here, so that will take this much space. So guys, I hope the time and space complexity as well as the complete Dijkstra's algorithm is understood. Now moving ahead, as we already discussed that this question can be also solved by using Floyd warshall algorithm. So now in Floyd warshall algorithm, what we would do is, whenever we initialize this graph, so we will run this Floyd warshall algorithm and pre-calculate the distance. So here we are storing these edges, and then here we are running 3 for loops. So this is a fundamental Floyd warshall algorithm that uses 3 inner for loops. So here the time complexity would be n cube plus. So whenever this graph is initialized, that will take big O of n cube time complexity. Now whenever the add edge function will is called, so for that we have to update the distance of the edges between two nodes I and j, right? We have to update all the distance from all the two nodes I and j wherever this edge is being added, right? So yeah, this updation will take big O of n square time complexity. So big O of n square into number of times add edge function is called. So this is the time complexity of Floyd warshall algorithm. And for the shortest path, we have already calculated the all the distances from node 1 to node 2 in the distance array. So yeah, we have directly return the distance. If it is greater than the maximum integer, then we will return -1 as the distance. So guys, this is clear. So time complexity is also clear, that it is big O of n cube plus big O of n square plus, into number of times the add edge function is called for this Floyd warshall, and the space complexity is big O of n squared here also, as the size of the distance is big O of n square. So I hope you guys have understood the difference in the time complexity. This is a bit better, as the number of calls for both add edge and shortest path is 100, maximum number of calls. So this component will remain the same, big O of n square into number of time add edge function calls, and big O of n log n into number of times add this shortest path function is called, right? But this is better. See, this here it is n log n, and also there is no component of big O of n cube added. So yeah, Dijkstra's algorithm work slightly better than the Floyd warshall algorithm here in this case, and the space complexity is the same for both the approaches. So yeah guys, that's all for this video. If you guys have any doubt, then do let me know in the comment section. If you guys want a separate video on Dijkstra's algorithm and Floyd warshall algorithm, then also do let me know in the comment section. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.